go.
Put the dog in charge of the bloody camera. Teach him to edit, we'd be laughing. Right, okay. Right.
Welcome to the madhouse.
Okay. My name's Simon. This is
Tracy.
Because he can't speak for himself, this is Hugo.
Sun's in his eyes.
We're two very early 50-somethings, currently houseless and homeless pretty much. But anyway, not homeless. We've got a camper van, which we're sat in at the moment. And we've got a caravan in the UK. We're currently sat in Portugal at the moment. We have given up our jobs, good jobs to be fair, and our house to take 3 months out.
You're sticking my legs.
Showing up by the bloody dog. Giving up our homes and our caravan in the UK to come around Europe for 3 months, which is a maximum permissible post Brexit. We haven't got dual citizenship. We're not Irish grandparents or anything like that, so we can only stay in Europe for 3 months, and that's what we've done. So a bit unconventional. We're not risk takers at all. But we've decided, until now, but we decided to jack it all. We're not in a position where we can retire either. We absolutely will be going back to work somewhere at some point in the future. But at the minute, we're about 10 days in, something like that, into our Europe trip in our self-built camper van. Currently, as I said, sat in halfway down the Portuguese coast in Portugal. We're on the Santander ferry, and we're now in Portugal.
A very windy Portugal at the moment.
It is very windy. It's very warm. When the wind drops, it's extremely hot. In fact, you probably can't tell on the camera at the moment, but we are quite brown and burnt. Brown and burnt.
And having to wear hats. Because our hair is such a mess.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's your hat?
My hat's on the bed.
Oh, right, okay. I can start this again. You can go and get it if you like. Anyway, so here we are. Just a very brief intro about what we are, what we're doing. We're just filming where we're going. If anybody fancies doing something similar, then obviously you might find this helpful.
Do it. Don't put it off.
Okay. I think there's anything else I want to cover off. Predominantly staying in airs. For those who don't know, so an air is basically very different to the UK. So camper vans in Europe are very much catered for. So there'll be lots of park ups where you can park for nothing in the main, not always, but in the main. Park up, get rid of your grey waste, your toilet waste. You can fill up your water tanks with water, and some of them have got electric as well. Some free, some you have to pay for, but they're dotted all over Europe. Absolutely brilliant. Whereas sort of camper vans are very much demonised in the UK. It's a completely different story in Europe. So we've predominantly stayed in airs. We've been in Europe now, I don't know how many nights we've done, something like 8 nights now, something like that, and 6 of those nights have been completely free. It's not costing us anything to stay where we are, and where we are now is completely free. It's not costing us anything at all to stay where we are, and
we're literally a stone's throw from the beach, aren't we?
I'm looking at the sea from here, and it's probably, if I was guessing, 30-35 yards from where we're parked is the water. So not all like that. Some of them are very, very urban, but that's what we're doing. We can cover that off basically in more detail if anybody's interested. But this is basically just sort of diarising more for our benefit than anybody else's, what we're doing, and hopefully at some point in the future it'll make sense to the grandkids what it is we're doing and why we're doing it before we're too old to actually be able to do what we want to do and enjoy it. Don't want to get to 70 and realise we ain't got to 70. So yeah, it's enjoy it while we're still sort of half capable. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
So we've also brought obviously Hugo, as you can see, who's been very good to be fair, because he's been loved and he's on Tracy's lap. He normally lives in the front of the van behind the seats here, but as we're filming,
he's been a focal point of everywhere we've been. We went to Porto, didn't we?
Yeah.
About 2 days ago, and everybody loved him there. Brought drinks out for him, treats out for him. Got a fuss made of him on the cable car, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he is well, dogs in general are very I've not seen as many dogs here as I have done in other places in France and in Spain. I've never been to Portugal before, but it's certainly been very welcomed, and yeah, he's been good as gold, actually, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
so far so good anyway. So there's lots of ins and outs of bringing a dog abroad as well, so we can answer those questions if anybody's interested in that, because there's quite a lot to do with regard to that. Quite a lot to do with regard to getting the vehicle out here. All of it worth it, all of it far more expensive than you probably originally estimate. Take my word for it. But yeah, there we go. So that's it. So that's just a brief introduction of where we are, why we're here, and what we're doing it for. Basically is we want to get some sun, we want to come across, we want to chill out for a few months before we're too old to enjoy it. And yeah, is that a fair summary of where we're at?
Yeah, and before we end up back on the housing market and you're not able to do it in the same sort of manner for 3 months at a time. So we have so far documented everything that we've spent, so if anybody's interested or toying with the idea of trialing this, we can kind of give you a rough breakdown of what we've spent so far. Our biggest expense has been fuel, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So
we've completely gone against convention. So we've jacked our jobs, jacked our house, got rid of everything basically.
We've got no form of income at the moment.
Yeah, and no income. And we aren't rich. And let me tell you, we are not rich. And we are now on our way around Europe. So yeah, there we go. Okay, I think we'll draw it there because that's just the intro.
Yeah.
We'll do some follow-up videos if anybody's interested, depending on what sort of feedback we get. Anyway, comment below if there's anything you want to know, anything you want to cover in a upcoming video, and we'll catch up with you again. Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Bye.
See you now.
There you go. Record. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's too staged, isn't it?
Well,
I'm not particularly comfortable doing it.
Let's just do an intro one anyway, so we'll have to do one. It's been off.
You're recording now, Tree. With your hands on your hips, like that.
Yeah. You're going to start, and I'll interject.
Well, we better think of some points to cover off then. So, I want your little pad.
Homeless. Well, we're not homeless, we're houseless. I think it's important that you say that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like this.
You probably do with a furry rat on your knee as well. Rather than go, and you go down there, it's just a black.
Right.
This is a lot more than this is why I said this is a lot more than 5 minutes. Careful, because you're going to knock that over.
Too far away now, aren't we?
Well, you can... Oh no, you can't, can you, on that, mate? Right. I'd have said that was just about okay.
Okay.
It looks like you've got a black stitch.
I have. Stop. It's recording again.
Go on, stop.
Why is it doing that?
I don't know.
When I want it to record.